What I put into the song, couple songs tonight, most explicitly, that old spiritual, God gave Noah the rainbow sign, no more water but fire next time. Because I really do believe here, you and me and a lot of other people sitting here in this hall together with many different backgrounds, and yet we were able to sit down side by side and have a lot of fun singing together. Whether we were Catholic or Protestant or Jewish, or whether our parents came from Europe or Asia or Africa. And I don't see any solution to the world but this. That is, the rainbow sign. God said all these colors can be side by side, just as beautiful as anything. And if you don't learn to get along, there's going to be fire next time.
Pete, all this past week, a local organization has been beaming a taped telephone message referring to you as an identified communist.
They say that all the time. As a matter of fact, these leaflets, they get handed out when I'm in Miami or Seattle, and they always have the same wording. I can only figure there's some mimeograph machine somewhere, and each of these local people get it. The word identified communist, so far as I know, the only person who ever identified me was a fellow named Harvey Matusow, who later on was indicted for perjury, and was such a discredited fellow that no one ever believed him. But I don't even argue with these guys. I don't think, if I got up and swore on 1,000 Bibles, said I'm not this, I'm not that, it wouldn't mean anything. What means anything is what I'm singing, what I'm doing. And this is the only thing that counts.
You were convicted for contempt of Congress, were you not, for refusal to answer questions of the House Un-American Activities Committee?
Well, I was acquitted, too. I was convicted by the lower court, and then the unanimous decision of the appeals court acquitted me and decided that I was right, that I did not have to answer these questions. My feeling is that if a person's done something wrong, they ought to be prosecuted for it, and not have a bunch of second-rate politicians going around putting them on the stand with no chance to answer back. All you can do is answer yes and no. You know, there's hardly any person in this world you couldn't put on the stand under that condition and put them in a corner.
Would you consider yourself liable if you were publicly called an identified communist by a private individual or organization?
I'm liable every time these people hand out any of these leaflets. But as I say, I'm not going around suing them. I think my only defense as a musician is to make as good music as I know how, and as true music. And I've sung old and new songs for 25 years. If they really think some of my songs are wrong, let me see which song I've sung that they think is wrong. There is no answer to these people except to go ahead and do your job as well as you know how. And sooner or later they'll defeat themselves, because I'm sure if anybody really did take one of these leaflets and believe it, and then come inside the hall and listen to the singing, they would have known something's wrong somewhere.